What's going on, guys? I'm back with another one. And I just watched a movie called Green Lantern, Beware My Power, starring Jon Stewart as Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, and Green Arrow. First of all, now I usually don't try to push narratives. I promise. I don't do stuff. I don't like stuff like that. But I want to talk about how black comic book characters are treated both in the comics and the movies. Not because I'm trying to fight the power or whatever. I just think it's hilarious. You can hate me for that. I just think it's comical. There's bad examples and there's good examples. First, we have War Machine. Okay, War Machine was such a cool character in the comic books. All right, he had the big suit. He actually looked like he could take out armies and needed no help from Iron Man. Okay, but in the movies, he is just Iron Man's boy. All right, and I don't say that. I'm not saying that to spark anything up. I'm just saying he's just his partner. Iron Man. If it wasn't for Iron Man, no one would care about War Machine in the movies. He's just so horrible. He's horribly written, and he's hardly important. All right. Then we have the Falcon. Okay, in the comic books, I really wasn't that knowledgeable on him because I didn't care about his character. I still don't care about his character in the comic books either. But actually, he can actually talk to birds for real, not just the mechanical one in the movie. And he actually had a personality and his own thoughts and ideas and beliefs. But in the movie, once again, we have somebody who's just a sidekick to the real deal. All right, it's just a corny, goofy guy. Just goofy as hell. Just there for comedy relief and for Captain America to slap back of his head every time he says something stupid. Okay? That's how I see it. Then we have Luke Cage. Not good in the comics, not good in the movies. All right? In the comic books, he has this terrible 1970s outfit that he has all the time, and he teams up with Iron Fist. Most of his comic book storylines are with Iron Fist. That's the most important ones. He has them by himself, but no one cares. No one cares about that. They just want to see him team up with Iron Fist again. And he's just a cheesy guy. And he's also in the show. It's horrible as well. He's horrible in the show. He's still a blaxploitation character that they just gave some powers. That's it. He's horribly written. A lot of these characters are horribly written. That's all I'm pointing out. Then we have the good side of things. We got Bishop, an X-Men, right? Now in the comic books, his character has his own storyline going on, has his own arcs. I think he has his own issue too. All right? And he's a very well put together character. All right? With awesome power and all that. In the movies, still the same thing, but he doesn't talk for the role he was picked for. He doesn't talk through the entire movie. And I know the other characters in there that were around him didn't talk either, but that's the role you chose to bring Bishop into the big screen on. We got to see more of Bishop in the future, man. Because he is a man of the future. Okay? Then there is Sync. Sync is a very unknown character to the mainstream. All right? He's able to duplicate other people's powers and use them better than the person who originally had that power. All right? So he's stronger than what people think in the comics. There is not yet a live adaptation of this character. I need it. This character is kick ass, man. For real. Not like that. And then last but not least, there's Storm. All right. There's no other black female character that is more notable than her, or more, she controls the weather. She controls the weather and does it the best. Okay, she's so cool in the comic books, but in the movies, she's done horribly wrong. She's done horribly wrong. Okay, she Halle Berry did her best, but she didn't do good enough, and she was never the right pick for that. And then there's the new girl who's a little closer, but they didn't pay attention to her a lot. She just kind of was an underling. Okay, and I didn't include any of the DC characters because we don't have a lot going on there. But I'll say this: now that Jon Stewart's around, now that they have a movie without Jon Stewart, will he be just as notable as some of these characters in the list? Or just another sidekick boy for the real Green Lantern? We're about to find out. Let's go. Green Lantern, Beware My Power. For those who don't know, for those who are not aware, if you don't know about this movie by now, like I always say, you're not a true DC animated head. Okay, you don't watch these at all. Obviously, a new one comes out at least every month, if they're not sleeping. Okay, at least every month you get a new one. So yeah, that means you have no idea, and you need to catch up. All right, you're getting penalized for that. You're getting penalized for that. Green Lantern, Beware My Power. It's pretty much about a character named Jon Stewart, who's an ex-military. He's going through some things, a lot of trauma from his past, and until one day a member of the Green Lantern Corps crashes into his front yard and hands him the ring that was once yielded by the original Green Lantern of Earth. Okay, Mr. Howe. And now he must find out why he was given this ring. He meets the Justice League. They kind of test him on who he is, and then he's automatically thrown into a war between the Thanagarians and the Rons. All right, and that's the premise of the movie. Positives. Needless to say, just like a lot of other DC projects, the action was so stellar. The action in this one just got better and better and better. It was like a progress, a slow progress, because at the beginning it's a lot of dialogue and you're like wondering, okay, well, they're doing a lot of talking, so when's the action? Oh, because as soon as a new character is introduced, another fight breaks out. Okay, every time a new character comes in, and then of course later on the real war goes down and the battle pursues. Okay, ensues, whatever. Okay, it goes down for real. All right, that battle is so epic. It's so epic, man. They did it right. They just did it right. Another positive. There's a character by the name of Hawkgirl. As soon as she steps on the scene, she is a complete and utter gangster. Okay, I'm not exaggerating. I didn't know her character was this raw and just hardcore. I wonder if Hawkman is as wild as she is. She was taking no names. All right, she even had a quote where she said that a true warrior doesn't ask questions, they just fight. Which there might be a little bit of flaws to that, but okay, yeah, okay. They just go in and they battle. All right, well, I don't want to hear. She said, I don't want to hear about the blah 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 blah. I don't care what they got to say. I want to kill. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed her character so much. One of my favorite characters. Another positive about this, they were quite realistic with the progression of how Jon Stewart learned to control the ring. All right, because from the get-go, he was clumsy, he was fumbling. Mostly all he could do was create shields and brick walls to protect himself, because I guess, it works with the mind. And so he's just probably scared as hell at first and just wants to not even be hit or touched or even be there for most of the time. So he creates a lot of brick walls and all this. He really doesn't do a lot with it. But as it progresses, he starts to get so creative with that ring, man. And he gets to the point that he needs to be by the end of this movie. Trust me. Another positive, my last positive. There is a certain storyline from the actual comic books that they choose to use that is revealed towards the end, and it made this movie all the better. I was so glad. I can't say, of course, what it is, but for any true DC head, I'm not a strong DC head, but I know the arcs of some issues. You'll probably already know before you watch the movie what's gonna happen. But I'm not gonna say nothing. But it took me a while, like towards the middle of it, to kind of get what was going on there. And once I got it, I was like, oh, I think this is gonna happen because this character is acting like this. This is gonna happen later on. I bet you. This is the arc. That arc kept popping up in my head like, that did happen in the comic books. I remember that. Just wait. I swear. Negatives. There were a lot of things written in the script that just didn't make sense sometimes. Like a good example, a really good example. When Jon Stewart first met like a percentage of the Justice League, this is what it is. He tried to explain himself. He was about to explain why he had the Green Lantern ring, and they don't know who the hell he is. And he said, "I'll explain, but I don't think you're gonna believe me, bro. You're looking at a guy named Martian Manhunter, who definitely is not human. Okay, if you think they're not gonna believe you, what?" Come on, man. You're looking at a green dude. You're looking at a green dude in a cape. They're gonna believe you. All right, just try them. I'm sure that they'll hear your story out. All right, they've seen a lot. There was no need to even say that. And there's some other lines in this movie that it just didn't make any sense either. Like the fact that, well, the storyline, the fact that the Thanagarians and the Rons couldn't even see the fact that they were being pitted against each other. Okay, throughout the whole thing, they couldn't see this or kind of put two together. And I'm like, oh my God, I know they're just dumb warriors or whatever y'all call them, but they can't be that dumb. They can't be that dumb. Another negative about this. Now, of course, this is not a spoiler because his name is mentioned in the trailer. Hal, the original. He's in a flashback in here, okay? And in that flashback, at a particular time of it, he loses all his clothes, and you think for a minute, okay, he lost his uniform. That's kind of weird. I'm sure he'll get some clothes back, right? For a long time in that flashback, he was naked. I don't care to see that. It's weird. It's awkward. All right. I don't understand the reason they had this man unclothed for so long. Strangely enough, a character named Sinestro seemed to not mind a little too much. We won't get into that. Okay, we won't get into how creepy that was. But it just went on for a little too long, in my opinion. All right, I'm not trying to be dysphobic or whatever that. I'm not saying that. Of course, it was a female character. I wouldn't have cared. But I'm just being honest. All right, if it's not helpful to the plot, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? No one asked for that, okay? Not at all. We didn't ask for this one bit. Highly disgusted at that scene. I'm not even gonna lie. My last negative about this. the involvement of Green Arrow. All right, now I know that because Green Arrow was such good friends with Hal, the original, they had to, I guess, add him in here. All right, but this is more of a galactic movie. It's a space involved movie. Okay, Green Arrow immediately, automatically had no involvement in that. That is not his area. He's not good in space. Okay, he was pretty much there for comic relief. He didn't really do a lot with his arrows. I don't like archers anyways. I'm sorry, it might be a little bit of a personal thing. I don't like archer characters anyways. But we'll get to that later on. Let's just say his involvement was almost useless. Okay. But still, with saying that, I have to give this a hell yes. Okay. It's been a minute since I've seen a good DC animated movie, and this brought me joy. All right. Especially how it ended out. Especially how it was true to the comics. And I loved every detail of that. I need you to like, I want you to share. If you haven't subscribed yet, you better do that.